G'day everyone, thanks for stopping by. Today we're back out in the backyard and we're doing another review. A little while ago I put up a poll and asked my viewers what they wanted to see because Bosch had got in touch with me and offered to send out some gear for the purpose of review. So over the next couple of months we're going to be knocking up a few reviews of some of the stuff they've sent out to me. Now I can't tell you what it all is just at this point because some of this stuff hasn't been launched yet. Bosch wants me to hold on until that gets launched. So the exciting news is once that hits the market and they've told me to go, we'll get some reviews out really quick. So if you're interested in some of this gear, you'll be able to see the reviews here on this channel. So if you're interested in that, drop me a subscribe and we'll catch up with you later on when that turns up. In the meantime though, I'm kind of doing a follow-up of one of my more popular reviews, and that was on the Bosch Aquatak 120 high pressure washer. Now quite often I'll do my reviews just because it's something I've got in the shed, it's something I enjoy, it's something that I just want to share, and sometimes it's just to get content up. You know, I like to load up something once a week. It's not always that easy to come up with something. This is the sort of stuff I enjoy, so I assume that this is the sort of stuff that you're going to enjoy, and for the most part I think we're pretty close. With that in mind, when I went out to Supercheap and bought the little Bosch 120 just for doing the side of the house, giving the Pajero a bit of a clean, I thought why not, I'll put it up. I got it cheap, it was a bargain at $100, so I thought I'd knock up a review and put it up. And to be honest, the views that has got has really surprised me. So off the back of that, I think that's what made Bosch stand up and pay attention to that review and figured, you know, we'll get in touch and see whether you're interested in some gear. So with that, I said, of course. So what we've got in the box is the Bosch Universal Aquatak 135. Okay, so this is basically the bigger brother of the 120 that we've got here. Now when it comes to the range, Bosch offers 3 different levels of tools. Now we're not talking about the blue stuff that you're going to see over at Bunnings in the Bosch stuff that's, you know, obviously got its own backing and its own name. What we're talking about is the stuff that you probably easily identify as the green line of Bosch tools. As you can see on the box, you've got Easy, Universal and Advanced. Now I asked Bosch the question, how do I determine what I want? How do I know where I fit? Probably the easiest thing to think of it is, how often am I going to use it? How heavy duty do I need it to be? So if you want something that's, I guess, entry level, you're not going to be using it all the time. You're going to be pulling it out. You're going to be doing a bit of, you know, a little bit of cement work, something like that, like I did the washing the car. They suggest washing the bike, but I had absolutely no issues with the little Aquatak 120 washing the car and doing the cement work and doing the side of the house. But for that level of work that I'm going to require of the tool, they've suggested that the Universal is probably a better fit, which is a middle level. Now that's somebody who's going to use it quite a bit more often. They're going to use it for sort of more medium level to harder level tasks, and they're basically going to ask a little bit more of the tool. So that's what they've sent out here. This is the 135, this is in the Universal level. Now the Advanced is for the guys and the gals who are going to be putting that tool into use on a daily basis, and they're going to be asking a lot more of the tool, and it's more of a heavier duty. Your Universal is probably the fit I think is for most people. I think that's certainly going to be a good fit for me. Of course, over the different levels comes ease of use and how it packs up, the size of the tool, etc. If you're really going to be putting the tool through its paces, maybe have a look at the Advanced range. Now again, I've been looking at the different pressure washers, just trying to have a look at the range and see what else was available. And I said to Bosch, look, it's a little bit confusing for me, and I think probably for the end user looking at all these different websites. So one of their suggestions was to have a look at that power rating of the motor that's in there. Now this one's a 1900 watt. For Aquatak 120 was a 1500 watt. So start off having a look at your level, whether it's Easy, Universal or Advanced. Then go and have a look at your power rating. That'll give you an idea where that unit sits within that range. And then you can have a look at the amount of pressure that's going to be put out. Now look, to be honest, I don't know how much difference there is between 135 bar and 120 bar, but we're going to find out. I've actually just cleaned out the back step, which is a little veranda where the dog sleeps, and it stinks like dog. We've had another little visitor, probably about this big with a tail, that appears to have been living up there once I pulled the dog's bed out. We need to give that a clean out, and the cement needs quite a bit of a clean. So we're going to get stuck into that. And I've also got a review coming up of a snow cannon that I got, a Foamy, which is an Australian brand. Now for most of you, you're probably aware that I like to support the Australian retailers, and one thing I like about Bosch is, in addition to providing their higher level stuff, their tradie type tools through Bunnings, this level of stuff though, you're not likely to find at Bunnings. We're going to find these as sort of Amazon, Mitre 10. Mitre 10 is probably your go-to place for this stuff. The thing I like about that is Mitre 10's Australian. Started off in 1959 in Victoria, and then basically went around the country, I think New South Wales, etc. And my belief is that they're still Australian owned. Now don't quote me on that, but everything that I could find on the web suggested that that was still the case. So let's just grab this out of the box and have a quick look. Now one of the questions that keeps popping up from everybody is why I'm still carting my Aquatak 120 around in this box. This was the original box that come in. Now my answer to that has been, it just makes it easier. But the Aquatak 120 has a number of different heads, obviously has the detergent bottle as well. No real easy way to get those things to attach to the unit itself in I guess just a pick up and go type thing. So the box houses all of these smaller pieces for me. I don't want to lose any of these. These are what make the unit great. So, you know, these stay in the box. And if I want to lend that to somebody else, that's easy for me just to pick up the box, hand it to them, and they can go and they've got everything in one. Let's see how the 135 approaches that. Okay, so it's time to jump into the 135 and let's see what it looks like inside. One of the other questions I asked Bosch was whether the AQT connection, which looks something like this, and I'll show you this when we get around to the foam cannon as well. That is their AQT connection, looks something like that. So if you're looking for anything that's going to fit these pressure washers that we're referring to here, or the other ones in this line, the AQT is their universal connection. Looking to buy a foam cannon or something like that, AQT is the connector you're looking for. Now, as I said in the 120, the reason I carry it around in the box is because it's got a number of different heads that I need to keep in the same place as the unit so I don't lose it. That is solved with that. That's a three-way head. So that's going to do all the things that those nozzles did in the 120. It's going to do it in one unit. Really happy about that. Now straight off the bat, just here, this is the connection that goes onto the front of the unit that then allows you to connect your hose to. Now the 120 has this, look, I don't know my plastics particularly well, but that just feels like a harder plastic. This stuff in the clear, I may be wrong, and it does feel a little bit thicker than some of the stuff that I've seen historically. That doesn't give me a lot of confidence for rigidity and longevity. I don't know, just because, I don't know whether it's any different to this one because it's got colour in it, whether the process of making those two is any different, but I can see that that's got a filter in it. Perhaps that's clear so you can see that filter's in there if it gets dirty and you need to clear that. But my experience with clear plastics is they don't last, they get brittle, and then they just shatter, or you'll see little splits in it. You know, put in the comments down below whether you think I'm wrong or whether you agree with that one. But I have concerns for longevity for that clear bit of plastic connector at the front. Now that's something that's going to be connected to every time you want to use that pressure washer. You're putting on, you're taking off, you're putting on, you're taking off. Look, it feels okay as is, but I just have concerns that sitting out in the sun for too many days, I don't think that's going to last. Now specifically with the high pressure washers, etc., you're going to find these at Supercheap. So if you're having any issues with anything like that, or you have a warranty issue, you can always duck it back into Supercheap and they'll sort you out. I have taken a few things over the years back to Supercheap and never had a problem. And in saying that, they've always been nice while they're doing it as well. Point being, we'll see how that lasts and how that goes. We'll throw this one back on the 120 and we'll stick with all the stuff out of the box for the 135 in the test. So that's the extension part of our lance. Same as the 120. Now there's our soap dispenser, and to be honest, I think Bosch really missed an opportunity with this. I don't find this does a fantastic job. It does an okay job, and I'll show you there on the screen when I've used this to wash the car. I think when people see this, and I was the same, I was expecting, yeah, beauty, foam cannon, don't need to go and buy one. Not the case. This certainly doesn't foam up anywhere near the foam cannon, but had they put that little nozzle in there, like they have on one of the washers, that basically would have become a foam cannon, and I think it would have been a lot more popular than just the dispenser. That, for me, is probably not going to be used very often at all. But it's a nice to have. Nice. Now, one of the things that I would say challenged me with the 120 was the length of this hose. Now, I'm not entirely sure how long this hose is. It does look to be a little bit longer than the one that comes with the 120, but I am going to go and buy myself an extension. Now, for an extension hose of 6 meters, I've looked at Supercheap, it's about 25 bucks. I was washing the old boy's car the other week, testing out that foam cannon, and he also made a point of saying, wow, that hose is not very long, is it? And he said, you need an extension for that so you can do the whole car. I'm like, yeah, Dad, I do. Now, for here, you've got a handle on the back. That comes up, makes the whole unit a bit more portable as far as moving it around. A little knob on the back so you can loosen that up and extend that up, give you a little bit of extension, so it just makes it that easy to grab and move. I'm really liking how this sits on the side of the unit. Squeeze that trigger to get that on there. All these connections are going to be exactly the same as your 120. AQT connection, push and turn to lock that in. Now I just spotted that this section of the trigger nozzle actually rotates as well, so if you need to rotate the head for whatever reason, you want to get a different angle or something, that'll spin around. So one recommendation, and this is probably why it's got the arrow pointing that way, when you want to rotate the head, you want to turn it anti-clockwise, because if you try and turn it clockwise like I've been doing, you actually just end up rotating this piece here. So you get it to a point where that green dot's on top, and then rotate it to the left when you want to change the head. There is a green little dot that's going to show you what's engaged, and then there's a little diagram on the side. So that's the straight, that's the fan, That's the little wiggly one that goes like that, that does real good cleaning. Now when you're going to fit this in, there is a little notch there at the top. There's a matching notch here on the unit, so you drop that in there like that. Connector on the bottom, and there's going to be the same one of these on the back of the unit. It's just this sort of, it is just a press connect. When you need to disconnect it, just lift that up, that'll pull out. Now size wise, as you can see, there's not a huge difference between the two. Definitely a bit more weight than the 135, but you can see how portable it is. Pick it up, pull the handle, away you go. If you're only looking at doing some minimal stuff around the house and weight may be a little bit of a concern for you, then maybe the 120 is the one for you. The 120 is certainly not a big unit, doesn't take up a lot of space as far as storage, but there's a little bit more additional convenience that comes with the 135, and that's the additional step up to the universal level. What we really want to know, and what I want to know, how's she go? So we're going to hit these stairs again that we did the other day. I've done half of the boat with the 120. I'm going to go around and do the other half with the 135. Good to go. Let's turn it on and see what happens. All right, now this is the exciting part. Let's get this on the swirler, back over that step where we tested the 120 originally, and just see how it goes over there. One thing I didn't have a lot of luck getting was these black spots that have appeared on the boat here. Again, hasn't been cleaned for ages. I wasn't able to get those with the 120, but the 135 is doing a great job of that. Probably noticed I've gone over a few jobs that I've already done with the 120. Now the reason I've done that, and this is new footage, the reason I've done that is I wanted to have, I guess, a baseline from the 120 to be able to compare it to what it felt like against the 135. The thing that I'm really noticing is, I guess, the additional pressure that's coming out of the 135 requires a little bit more strength and a little bit more control to hold it and use it. It's not extreme, certainly not by any means. When Bosch said they were going to send out the 135, I was thinking, you know what, I don't really need it, I'm happy with the 120. Now that I've got the 135, I'm definitely noticing the speed that is going to allow me to do all these jobs, the same jobs that I could do with the 120 and some more, but get them done quicker. I guess there's two things you need to look at. How much you're willing to spend. $390 odd for the 135, $140 odd for the 120. What's more important to you? Money, time, how often you're going to use it. Consider those things when you go out and make your purchase, and you'll be on the right track. I want to say thanks very much to Haley for sending this gear out to you. It's much appreciated. And if you could also thank the person who made the suggestion to send out the 135 to me. And yeah, he was right. The 135 just does that job a little bit quicker, a little bit better, and it's going to be much appreciated when I get around to clean the Pajero. I don't even know where that went. Again, you know, it's met my expectations. Actually, it's gone that little bit higher than my expectations this unit. I thought that it wasn't going to be that much difference to the 120. Not that I'm unhappy with the 120. You know how much I enjoy that. But this has just gone that next level above, and I suppose it makes sense. So let's talk giveaways. If I can get 50 likes on this video and I can get it up to 15,000 views, when we hit that, then I'll post up a giveaway video and we'll have a look at giving away that 120. Now I'm going to apologise to the guys overseas. I'm going to keep this just domestic to Australia, and then if the giveaways take off and I get some smaller stuff that I can look at sending overseas, then I'd like to include you guys there as well. So that's it, guys. That's the Bosch Aquatak 135 high pressure washer. If you've got any questions, fire them through to me. I'll do my best to help you out and respond. If I don't have the answers, Haley's more than happy over there at Bosch to have me forward the questions through to her. She'll find out. If she doesn't already know, she'll shoot them back and I'll reply to you in the comments. Or, you know, if it's something interesting that I think a lot of people are going to want to know, I'll stick it into another video and we'll get to that. So again, guys, we've got more Bosch stuff coming up. I can't tell you what some of that exactly is. They're launching some new products in this line, and we're going to get sort of hands-on and going to be able to do the reviews of those as they come out. So if you're interested in the Bosch gear and you want to see more, chuck us a subscription. You'll get to see the other stuff as it comes out. Thanks very much for stopping by. I appreciate all the views. We've not long hit 3,000 subscribers, and the most recent video of the Pajero is just going great guns. Really surprised. I really enjoyed making it. I really enjoyed going out on the trips. So what I'm trying to do is focus a little bit more on the stuff that people seem to be interested in. Obviously for my benefit, the things that get more views, but that tells me that that's what you're interested in. So feel free to be putting up comments to say, look, yeah, I am interested in this, but I'm also interested in this other stuff that you do there as well. And I guess that'll help guide me moving into the future as to what sort of videos I do and what sort of content I try and focus on a little bit more to get, you know, the better results from my end and to give my viewers, that's you, what you want to see. So it's great that Bosch has come on board with the channel. I've still got some stuff there from Mazito that I need to knock off there as well. I haven't forgotten about them. So if you're in the market for some 18 volt tools, we've got the Easy here and we've got the Bosch. I'm not necessarily going to put them head to head and do comparisons. I like to just do the review of the tool itself, tell you what my experience is. But I don't want to turn this into I'm trying to sell you something or trying to push you in a specific direction. I just like to show you my experience. I'm just a guy using a tool. This is how I feel about it. Let you make up your own mind. I really enjoy the YouTube experience for getting information and just seeing what other people think of stuff, just to use that as a bit of research, and then I make up my own mind. And that's kind of how I like to present my information, try and be as honest as I can, show you how I felt about it, let you make up your own mind and go from there. If you want to buy it, great. If you don't, so be it. Just sharing some information. I appreciate the comments, appreciate the subscriptions, and I appreciate you for stopping by. Thanks very much. We'll catch you on the next one. I've been mentioning this a number of times on the channel, but I can't remember whether I've got around to it. I may have mentioned in the past, but anyway, this is what I do with my extension cords, especially in the shed. That makes me a little bit more easy to cart, or if you needed to cart something in the caravan. Get yourself a milk crate. The plug end basically goes in the top. So you give yourself, a few meters or something like that, and just wrap it around the crate so when you pull it, it can't go anywhere. And then what you do is just put the crate down near where the socket is, and that gives you a few meters. Give yourself as much as you need, but generally a shorter length is good, just far enough to reach the ground up to the socket. Drop the crate there, and that's the first thing you pull out. So you pull that out and you plug it in. Don't turn it on obviously yet. And then reach in and you've got your plug on top, and then literally just pull it out. And if you get that right, when you're feeding it back in, you can literally just grab that plug and walk away from the milk crate, and there you go. So when you go to put it back away, take the end that's got the plug on it and just drop it in, and then just feed her in. But I've found if I just sort of feed it in like this, then drop your plug in, so then you take the end that goes into the socket and you just lay that on top, and then that's how you cart it. When you go to get it, pull this bit out where it needs to plug into the socket, just feed it out, grab your other end and just walk away with it. And obviously you only need to pull out as much as you need, and the rest just stays in that milk crate. It's not getting tangled up, nobody's going to trip on it. Yeah, just a real handy tip for you.